Now, as the entire nation pray for a miracle to happen so that survivors could return from that sunken vessel, local authorities are putting the pieces together, trying to make sense of why and how this tragic accident happened. To find out what they have discovered thus far, we are joined live by our Kim Ji-yeon from our news center. She has been following the developments on the investigation front. Ji-yeon, what are we learning of late?
Well, the latest is that the Korea Coast Guard says it has determined when the crew members escaped the ferry. The rescue team from the Mokpo Coast Guard, which is about 30 kilometers away from the ferry site, arrived at the site at 9:30, about 30 minutes after it was first ordered from the Situation Room to send a rescue team. At that time, the ferry was listing 50 to 60 degrees. Some of the crew members started to escape the steering room 8 minutes later, after their last communication with the control tower in Jindo Island onto the boats provided by the Coast Guard. During the escape, the crew members did not release the 14 lifeboats they passed on their way that could have each carried up to 25 people.
Right, Ji-yeon, the more information we get, the more, I think, unbelievable it gets. We also hear that prosecutors and police are expanding their joint investigation into this ferry disaster. The latest from that front.
Well, Kanyang, we're hearing 2 additional crew members have been arrested, including the engineer surnamed Son, who tried to take his own life yesterday. Investigators are reviewing testimony from one of the escaped crew members who said that walkie-talkies were being used to talk over ways to get off the ferry. According to reports, an evacuation order came down to the engine room, and crew members are said to have traveled through a passageway accessible only to crew to gather on the 3rd floor before making their escape together. Meanwhile, the Gwangju District Court has granted arrest warrants for 4 crew members, including chief engineers and navigators, for neglecting their duties to lead the passengers to safety.
Right. Investigators are also expanding their probe into the ferry company.
Yes, the joint investigation team is looking whether the too much cargo was loaded on the ferry that may have contributed to its listing with the abrupt turn of the vessel. Also, the team is planning to expand their investigation into whether it was illegal for the ferry to be restructured to include more cabins and hold more people, and whether the captain and the crew had received sufficient safety training. The country's financial watchdog and the National Tax Service have also started their investigation into the Cheongjin Marine Company and the family of the company's owners to see whether they were involved in illegal transactions or have evaded their tax obligations.
Right. Ji-yeon, more investigation should be done on that front, but how is the government responding to this probe?
Well, Prime Minister Chung Won says that the government will come up with a master plan to uphold safety regulations. And the first step, he says, would be to punish those responsible for the massive loss of so many lives here. He ordered related ministries to come up with a solution to improve the abnormal practices practiced by crew members and the ways to make sure manuals are kept in times of crisis. He said that the business entities themselves should check their safety regulations for the next 2 weeks, and then after that period ends, they might have an impromptu inspection after that period. We'll give you more updates on the ferry disaster later today.
All right, thank you, Ji-yeon, for that, and we will check back with Arirang's newsroom for more updates on that investigation front.